She's not arguing with you because she's difficult. She's not going quiet on you because she's moody. And she's not pushing you away because she doesn't love you. She is testing you. Right now. Today. Maybe even in the last conversation you had with her. And the terrifying part? You had absolutely no idea it was happening. Most men walk through their relationships completely blind to what's really going on beneath the surface. They lose good women. They fail relationships they actually cared about. And they never once understand why. But today, that changes for you. By the end of this video, you will know exactly what these tests are, why she runs them, and most importantly, how to pass every single one of them without losing yourself in the process. Welcome back, brother. If this is your first time here, this channel is built for men who want to truly understand women, relationships, and themselves at a deeper level. I'm glad you found this place. Make sure you subscribe right now and hit that bell, because every week we go deep into the psychology of relationships in ways that will genuinely change how you see your life. Today we are talking about something that affects every single man in a relationship, whether you've been with someone for 3 weeks or 13 years. 5 secret tests women run on men every single day. These are not games. These are not manipulation. These is deeply wired psychology. And once you understand it, everything in your relationship will start to make sense. Let's get into it. The first test she runs on you is the emotional stability test. This one happens constantly, and most men fail it without even blinking. She will say something that triggers you. She might criticize something small you did, bring up a past argument out of nowhere, or say something slightly cold in her tone. And what she is watching for, deep down, is simple. Will you fall apart? Will you get defensive, raise your voice, shut down emotionally, or go silent for hours? Or will you stay grounded? Psychologist John Gottman, who spent over 4 decades studying couples, found that emotional regulation is one of the single most important predictors of relationship success. Women are wired to seek a partner who can handle pressure without crumbling. Think about your friend Marcus. Great guy. His girlfriend would occasionally say things like, "You never really listen to me." And every single time, Marcus would explode into a 20-minute defense of everything he had ever done for her. He thought he was standing up for himself. She was watching to see if he could stay calm under pressure. He failed the test every time, and eventually she left. Not because she stopped loving him, but because she stopped feeling safe. Stay calm, brother. That is the answer to this test every single time. The second test is the priority test. And this one is quiet. She will ask you to do something small, reschedule something minor, or simply need a little of your time on a day that feels inconvenient for you. She is not trying to control your schedule. She is asking one single question with that request. Am I important to you? Research from the University of California on attachment theory consistently shows that women in relationships have a deep psychological need to feel chosen, not just loved. There is a difference. Feeling loved is knowing someone has feelings for you. Feeling chosen is knowing that when life gets busy, when friends call, when work piles up, you still matter enough to be a priority. Think about a man named David. He was deeply in love with his partner, Sarah, but every time she needed him to show up, there was always something slightly more urgent: a work call, a gym session, a commitment he had made previously. Individually, each reason was completely valid. Together, they told Sarah a story. She started feeling like an option rather than a priority. The day she finally left, David was genuinely shocked. She had been taking the test for 2 years. He had been failing it without knowing it existed. Now, here is where it gets really interesting, because the next 3 tests go even deeper than most relationship advice will ever take you. Stay with me. The third test is the consistency test. This is the one that separates boys from men in her eyes. She is not watching who you are on your best day. She is watching who you are on your worst Tuesday. She is watching if the man who texted her good morning 3 months ago is still the same man today. She is watching if your actions match your words over time. Behavioral psychologist B.F. Skinner's foundational work on patterns of behavior showed that humans naturally trust consistency far more than intensity. One grand gesture means far less to her than 30 days of simply doing what you said you would do. A man named James once told me his relationship story. He started out as the most attentive, caring partner his girlfriend had ever known. Flowers, deep conversations, always showing up. But 6 months in, slowly, quietly, he became someone else. Not dramatically, just small inconsistencies every week. She started to feel like the man she fell for was a version of him she would never get back. The consistency test never ends, brother. It is the longest running test in any relationship. Pass it by simply being who you said you were, every single day. The fourth test is the boundary respect test. This one surprises most men. She will push against a boundary you have, not because she wants to break it, but because she wants to know if it is real. She wants to know that you are a man with standards, with values, with a line you will not cross. Because a man with no real boundaries is a man she cannot fully respect, and a woman who cannot respect her partner cannot fully love him either. Dr. Robert Glover, in his research on what he calls the nice guy syndrome, found that men who consistently abandon their own values to keep the peace actually trigger deeper anxiety and reduced attraction in their partners. She wants you to hold your ground, respectfully and firmly. Think about a man named Carlos. His girlfriend constantly tested his time boundaries, his personal space, his relationship with his friends. Every time she pushed, Carlos gave in immediately, terrified of conflict. He thought he was being loving and flexible. She started calling him spineless behind closed doors, not because she was cruel, but because a part of her was desperately hoping he would one day simply say, with calm confidence, "This is where I stand." He never did. Respect your own boundaries, brother. Doing so actually protects the relationship. The fifth test is the vision test. She wants to know if you have a direction in life, not whether you are rich. Not whether you have everything figured out, but whether you are a man who is going somewhere, whether you wake up with purpose, whether you talk about your future with energy and intention. Research from evolutionary psychologist David Buss at the University of Texas confirmed across dozens of cultures worldwide that women are fundamentally attracted to men with ambition, direction, and long-term thinking. Not because women are materialistic, but because a man with vision feels safe. He feels like home. Think about a quiet man named Eli. He was kind, faithful, and deeply devoted to his girlfriend. But whenever she asked about his dreams, his goals, his future, he would shrug and say, "I don't know, I'm just taking it day by day." She loved him, but she slowly stopped being excited by him. And excitement in a long-term relationship is not a luxury. It is oxygen. Eli lost her not to another man, but to the version of him she had imagined he could become. Have a vision, brother. It will change everything. Now, here is the hidden truth that almost nobody will ever tell you. All 5 of these tests, every single one of them, come from love. Not from insecurity alone, not from games, not from wanting to make your life difficult. They come from a woman's deep, ancient, biological need to know one thing before she gives you everything she has. Can I trust you with my heart? A woman named Layla once sat in a therapist's office and said something that has stayed with me ever since. She said, "I wasn't testing him to hurt him. I was testing him because I was terrified of loving someone who would eventually disappear." That is the real reason behind every single test. She is not your opponent. She is someone standing at the edge of full vulnerability, looking at you, wondering if you are the kind of man she can finally feel safe enough to fall for completely. When you understand that, everything changes. So let's bring it all home. She tests your emotional stability because she needs to know you can be her calm in the storm. She tests your priorities because she needs to know she genuinely matters to you. She tests your consistency because she needs to know the man she fell in love with is the man she is actually with. She tests your boundaries because she needs to know you respect yourself enough to be worth her respect. And she tests your vision because she needs to know that loving you means moving towards something meaningful, not standing still. These are not walls she puts up to block you. These are doors. And now you have the keys to every single one of them. You are not just a man in a relationship, brother. You are the foundation she is deciding whether to build her life on. Be solid, be consistent, be the kind of man whose actions speak so clearly that she never has to wonder where she stands. That is not weakness. That is the deepest form of strength a man can carry into a relationship. If this video opened your eyes to something you had never seen before, give it a like right now. It genuinely helps this channel reach more men who need to hear this. Subscribe if you have not already, because we go this deep every single week. And drop a comment below and tell me, which one of these 5 tests do you think you have been failing without realizing it? Be honest. This is a safe space. And finally, in the next video, we are going to talk about something even more powerful. What women never say out loud, but always want from you. You do not want to miss that one. I'll see you there, brother.